everybody, Optimus Prime here, back with another Transformers video review. Now today we are going to be taking a look at the Transformers Combiner Wars Leader Class, Ultra Magnus. Hi, see me in the picture, hi. So anyway, here's a nice picture of Ultra Magnus. On the side you see Transformers in red and black because they know how cool it is. See Ultra Magnus there on the side. You do get a nice piece of artwork, as I've said. Now, you do see he has a nice clear packaging with lots of tech specky details that you've seen from the movie sprinkled in there. You also do see the collector's card that I actually haven't bothered to take out. So, I do like the nice thick cardboard stock that they're using. Very masterpiece style cardboard. Just cool. The auto steroid, whatever they're calling this, I don't know. Coming around here to the back, you do see Ultra Magnus, and a picture of him there in his robot mode, of him in his vehicle mode, and the little Minimus Ambus. Right there's 3 steps, 25 steps. Yeah, they're all worried about how many steps it takes to transform the figure now. And of course, if you are under the years of 3, do not play with this toy. Warning! Mesangrade. There's that Surgeon Nienya logo again. I don't know what that means. Anyway, that's about it for the packaging. You do see a nice picture of Ambus and Magnus here on the side. On the top, it's just that auto comment. On the bottom, words and things and stuff. That's not important for this review, so let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. And here we have Ultra Magnus out of his packaging. And I absolutely love this guy. He is so cool. There have been a few QC issues on a couple of them. I didn't really get any. As you can see, I have both rocket launchers and I do have both arms on the correct side. I do have one QC issue that I will get to later in the video. But first off here, for some size comparisons, here we have Magnus. And here we have Generation's Leader Class Jetfire next to him, just so you can get a sort of sense of scale. Magnus is a little bit bigger than Jetfire. Here you have him next to a Combiner Wars Deluxe. In this case, drag strip, because he's the only actual one that I have, aside from Prime. So, there he is with the Deluxe. And here he is with Classics Magnus. Now this is just a straight repaint of the Optimus Prime mold. Yeah, sure, fine. But this guy deviates so much from the traditional Magnus formula. And it is just so awesome to get an actual Ultra Magnus figure. Now, getting Classics out of the way, we will move on to the main event. This guy, and he is awesome. The paint just, oh, this guy is amazing. Now, he is the IDW Magnus, and that might throw a couple people off. If you haven't read More Than Meets the Eye, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, this Magnus probably isn't going to do it for you. But I really love Magnus in the comics. I think he's just so cool. It's a really cool character. And just overall a really good guy to have on your lost light. So, coming on to some accessories, he does come with 2 guns, and as you can see, you can store them on his legs if you want to, kind of like holsters. They don't really store on his waist, so that's where I found the best place to put him is on his waist, or on his shins, I guess you'd call them. Because there really isn't anywhere else for them to store. Because the back is just, well, the back. So, you do get 2 guns. Move them off to the back. You do get a very nice blaster. Not sure if this was used in the comics, because I haven't really read that far. I've gotten into part 3 and I haven't seen this yet, so there's that. And you do get like a minigun sort of looking job, and it is really cool. Really love the detail there. Really cool. Now, the one thing you can do with these is you can combine them. You can take the butt end of this, put it into this here, and you have a sniper rifle, if you want. Pew, pew! The real way to use this is to stand it upright like this, and then take these 2 sections off of his shoulders, the missile pods. Now the missile pods themselves are very nice from this angle. You start to rotate them this way and it gets kind of hollow. But, I can live with that. You just want to take them and plug them into those holes there on the side that you saw. Just plug them in, like that. Hey, this one. Plug it in, plug it in. This side's really tight, but this side's really loose. I don't know. And here you have his Magnus hammer, because every Ultra Magnus has to come with a hammer now. You want it. And you can orient these however you want. You can have them up, you can have them pointing back. You can just have them any dang way you want. You can even use this, and only this as the hammer itself. And I think this looks really cool. Just kind of like a Mjolnir from Thor. Just like a short hammer, but it can do a lot of damage. That way he still maintains his long-range rifle. If you want to do that. Now, personally, while I like the hammer idea, the execution, it's okay. I appreciate that they gave those that want a Magnus hammer. So, but getting him to hold it is another story altogether. Now, to get him to hold it, you just want to bring up his hand and open up his, or bring up his arm and bring out his hand. And you'll see these little grooves on the handle itself that you just want to slide in, I think, wait a minute, oh, like this. Follow your own instructions, there you go. Like that. He doesn't really hold it securely, it is more of just a spin and a prayer. Whee! So, there is that. Or, can you do it that way? Yeah, I suppose you could put it like that, and it's a little tighter in his hand, if you wanted to do it that way. It's up to you how you want your figure displayed. Personally, if I have him with it, I'm probably going to have him like this, because I think that just looks better if I display him with a hammer at all. Getting him to hold his rifle, on the other hand, is another story altogether. If you leave his hand open, you just place it in there. It doesn't have those locking tabs like you have on the Masterpiece. And it just kind of sits in there, and not very good. I can't get mine to stay in for beans. My little brother got it to stay in perfectly, and I can't get him to replicate it. I don't know what he did. It just does not like to cooperate with me. So, your Magnus may not have a problem. Mine will not hold his weapons. And just putting the missile pods back on his arms, we'll get on to the last accessory that he comes with, and that is Minimus Ambus. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on that name. I kind of like Minimus Impus better, but that's just me. Now you may be wondering, Roctimus, where is he? If any of you actually watch this video. You can take his chest, and he's actually a chest minion. He has a chest minion! Ultra Magnus has a chest minion. So what you want to do is you want to take this panel, flip it down, gravity will sort of take over, lift up his head, and look! Little Minimus Ambus is sitting right in there. You want to open up this panel here. There we go. Kind of lift it like that. And there you have little Minimus Impus, or Ambus, excuse me, piloting Ultra Magnus. Now, the detail on the interior of this is phenomenal. Just getting out a little implement here. You can see that all of this nice detail, you can really see that a lot of detail work went into the inside where no one's actually going to see. And underneath Magnus's neck here, there are little screens that line up perfectly with Impus's eyes. Coming on to Impus himself, I keep saying Impus, it's Ambus. His leg always gets stuck. Come on. Now setting the Magnus armor off to the back, we'll take a quick look at Minimus Impus. There we go, not Inimus. And he is a very, very tiny dude. Very tiny dude. But he is bigger than Brainstorm's Headmaster. Almost said Brainmaster. And he is green, and he kind of looks a little bit in the face like Tigatron to me. Don't ask me why. I don't know. He just sort of has a Tigatron vibe to me. You can take these arms, move them up to the sides like this. Feet will go up, out, down, bend at the knee, just like that. So you can have him in a really nice kind of anime jumping pose to jump into Magnus's chest cavity if you want to. You'll have the option, if you want to have little Minimus Ambus, thank you, stored in his chest. You can do that, or you can have him set off to the side. It's up to you. Personally, I don't really care. He does sort of fill in the chest cavity there for Magnus, so... But he can transform, so we'll just do that right now. So you just want to take this entire back section, lift it up, and it's on a hinge that you can see there. It's on a double hinge. Just bring it forward like that. Take the legs, fold them up, then take the arms and bring them in to the sides. They'll just tab in. There you have little Minimus Ambus in his little mini vehicle mode, and it is really, really cute. The spoiler kind of reminds me of a Rodimus or a Hot Rod sort of vibe, so if any of you customizers want to make this thing into Hot Rod, I will buy it now. So you just see his nice little vehicle mode. You got some nice green paint, some nice black paint for the windshield, nice red Autobot logo, some future Cybertron sports car. Not sure exactly how this guy fits into the comic. I'm pretty sure that at one point Magnus dies saving him or something. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far in the comics yet, so just setting him off to the side. Coming back in here, you can see a lot of nice molded detail inside, even where Ambus would sit, so no one would actually see the detail that's inside. But closing this back up, because we do have the rest of the review to get to, you can just bring down the head, fold up the chest, and there you have Ultra Magnus as just Ultra Magnus without Impus. Ambus. Impus is just such a imp. Impus. Small. I don't... Anyway, you do see he does have a hollow neck cavity where Ambus would sit. Thank you. Caught myself that time. So, onto the articulation of this figure. His head will rotate side to side and up and down, kind of, if you want to break his neck. So basically just a side to side, and the face sculpt is fantastic. As you can see, nice metallic blue optics there. No light piping, but you can get over it, I guess. I did. This back panel just kind of bugged me sometimes, but you can live without it or take it or leave it, whatever. His arms will go a full 360 degrees. They will go out that far. They will go out a little further if you take this panel off, if you take the rocket pods off, but as it is, the armor sort of clashes against each other. You do rotate at the bicep. You do have a nice soft detented ratchet joint there. Some kind of weird ladder details. Don't know what that's about, but I just realized that this makes the underside, or the inside panel of the carrier mode, or vehicle mode, so I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, his fingers open all the way, as you saw before, so he can grasp for things, but it is sort of a weird joint. You can really only have him open his hand maybe about that much, so it looks natural. Any more than that, and it just looks like he's breaking his knuckles. Getting everything out of the way here. Nothing at the waist due to the way that the chest transforms. But you do have a solid ratchet forward that goes that far. And a solid ratchet that'll only go back that far, which is kind of a bummer. I thought it could go farther, but it looks like the sculpt is stopping it. So, like that. And they are very solid ratchets, and given what this has to hold up, it does a pretty good job. Legs are on a very soft ratchet outward. They do have a thigh swivel and a very nice ratcheted knee, and you do get some feet articulation, mainly for transformation, but it is nice that it's there. One problem I do have with Magnus, and I don't know if it's mine specifically, but sometimes I really have to fight him to get him to stand upright. Now, that joint that his feet are on just kind of give him that much wiggle room to slide around on. It's not terrible, and there are worse figures to get to stand, believe me. It's just kind of annoying. You get him in a stand that you like, and then it's like, yes, release, and he falls back. It's like, no! Anyway, just a minor nitpick on an otherwise pretty cool figure. To begin the transformation, all you want to do is you want to take this chest cavity, fold it down, and you want to come back here and basically go like you're putting Ambus back in his chest. But you just open these panels and take Magnus's head and fold it down inside. Make sure that panel's flat. Fold up the chest. Rotate the arms like this so they're out of the way. Then bring up the cab section because you need the space to rotate it. Ooh, sorry. Rotate it around, and there are two tabs right here. You just want to tab it right into like that. Now he will get very back heavy because, yeah, that's a lot of robot. So what you want to do is you want to take his arms, take this top section, push it down, which extends the arms outwards like this. You can take the missile pods off, which I forgot to do earlier. It's probably like step 1 or step 2 in the transformation, but hey, push that down, bring it up like that. Then take this armor here, which is a nice blue metallic paint. I really like the paint on this guy. And bring it out like that. Do the same on this side as well. Just take this blue panel, bring it out. Take this entire section, fold it down. Take these, bring them back, orient them properly like this. Bring them up. Bring them both up. Fold them in like that. They will just tab together like that. Then these two back panels here, they will just puzzle piece line up. Puzzle clip together. Like so. And there you have Magnus's arms done. Now, coming on to the legs. The more involved part of the transformation. You want to take this red panel, unclip it from the back part of the legs, and bring it out. Then take this entire then take this, the foot, and rotate it back on that double hinge so it fills that back cavity there. Take this section, rotate it up, and there you will have to kind of bring it out away from the body. Make sure that stays out. Rotate it, and then it will just sort of rest in. I don't know how well you're going to see this, but there are tabs, right down in there that this will clip into like that. So you have a leg. Just bring that up. The second verse, same as the first. I'll try to show you this better. Fold out the panel, take this foot section, bring it in, take this section, rotate it down, and it will tab into place like that. Tab the legs together. Just kind of push them together like so, like that. Then you want to take this chest section, and then you're going to want to bring it up. Arms, get out of the way. Want to take it, and it'll just sort of fill that cavity in there. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but it's right in there. You just want to bring it right into position. Wiggle it around till you get it in place. There we go. Like that. Take these red sections, and there's a little white tab right there, and a little red hole that they will slot into if everything is done correctly. I'll take this, bring it out, bring it up, like that. Then you just want to take these arms here, bring it down, and these little blue tabs here, focus, will tab into those little slots there on either side, like that. And then just bring these up. They will tab in to these slots on the side. You have to kind of get them in here like that, and then they'll tab in. And then all you got to do is pull the cab forward, like that, and there you have Ultra Magnus in his vehicle mode. Now, in vehicle mode, the cab came apart there. In vehicle mode, you can store all of his weapons. Some look better than others. You can take these missile pods and plug them into this hole right there, and it'll give him sort of a G1 Magnus look to him, which I really do love. I think that is fantastic. Again, you can just take the guns, plug them into those ports on his shins, which are now the back of the truck, to just have giant weapons hanging off the back of a truck. I suppose it's exhaust? No, not really, no. And this one just would peg on the other side and hang down. Something like that. Looks stupid. I don't display Magnus in vehicle mode. You just want to take little Minimus Impus. I'm going to call him Impus because it's a lot easier to say for me. And then just store him up there. It is kind of a pain that Ambus doesn't figure into the transformation at all. So he could store compactly. Like if he could fit inside the cab while it transformed, that'd be awesome. But then there really would be no point to having him anyway. So, yeah. You can take him or leave him. You can set him off to the side. You can have him in his chest. Personally, I just leave him in his chest because I think it looks okay and it gives him a little more white in his chest, and it really doesn't bother me at all. Moving his accessories off to the side, we will get on to some size comparisons. There's Magnus there. Here we have him with Classics Magnus, which again is just a retool of the Optimus Prime mold, so that would be the same size. Obviously going for two completely different things here, but you do get a sense of scale. Here you have him with a Combiner Wars Deluxe, in this case, drag strip, just so you can see how he scales, and you can fit him on the car carrier. They're vastly out of scale, but you can fit them on there if you want to. Oh, one thing I wanted to point out, I almost forgot. You can take these white panels, fold them down. You can take these top sections, bring them down like this to give him a sort of loading and unloading pose, so you can see like that. It's still not very convincing, but the G1 toy wasn't very convincing either, and this is really cool that you can do it with this toy. So just something that not a lot of people have shown off, and I'm not really sure why. You can do it. And you can, of course, drive them in here if you want. They do store down here as well. It's just this car is massive compared to this tractor trailer. But anyway, Transformers have always had scale issues. Closing these up can be a bit of a pain. And here he is with Voyager Brainstorm, just so you can see how they scale here, and Voyager Brainstorm will get his own review in due time. Probably tomorrow, maybe. I'm not sure. Schedule-wise, it's all kind of... Anyway, that's how it scales with Voyager Brainstorm. Now, in this mode, he is really, really cool. Although, if that's supposed to be the driver's door, this truck is huge. I mean, good grief. The size of this thing, it's just, oh my goodness. How big is the door, the windows, and what is this? What is any of this? So, scale issues aside, he does look really cool. Now, if you don't like all the axis and articulation this guy has, like that, you can G1ify him, so he's a brick. If you want to. And if you wanted to go a step further, there we go. You can just get a little screwdriver and undo this screw right here, and you could have Magnus away from his trailer, which is how I tend to have my figure, because, I don't know, I like my Magnus being freed and not having to be tethered to his trailer all the time. You can sort of have like a Brain the Master combined to this guy, and then to this to form like a Star Saber, sort of like Impus, Magnus, Ultra Magnus. I don't know, it's just how I see it. I don't know if anybody else sees it that way, but that's how this guy sees it right here. This review is getting kind of weird, so I'm just going to wrap it up by saying, Ultra Magnus, should you pick him up? With the QC issues and the paint aside, the paint is something I really didn't touch on, but the paint is fantastic on this guy. But for about $20 more, you can get a Masterpiece figure. So, is it worth it? It's hard to argue both sides of the fence. I can say yes and I can say no. No, because for what you're getting, it's flimsy and hollow, but the paint's good and it's got a good heft to it. A lot of things tab together really well. Now mine doesn't have the problem where it won't tab in, so that's good. But just be aware of that on your particular Ultra Magnus. So, and this guy has really warmed me up to Ultra Magnus in general. I wasn't a fan of him in the G1 cartoon, but I'm a real big fan of him in the comics, and this is the Ultra Magnus that was aimed at me. So, I picked him up. I enjoy this guy. So, without further anything else to say, this has been Roctimus Prime with Transformers Combiner Wars Leader Class Ultra Magnus. Hoping you guys have a good night, good day, whenever you're watching this. Take care, guys.